What up, everybody? It's your boy Chris and we're back in the studio. Today, our topic is why the American school system is failing. So, without further ado, let's just jump into it. So don't get me wrong, the American collegiate school system is still top-notch, although the gap is shortening between American schools and international schools at the collegiate level. This video is more on the topic of middle schools and high schools. I went to a public middle school and high school, and I can say from her first-hand experience that it was pretty easy. I was able to just get by. I didn't have to put in too much effort, and I did perfectly fine on paper. However, I felt like when I got to college, something was definitely lacking. I had never been exposed to high-level chemistry. I didn't even take a physics course. I did not take stats. I didn't take anything out of the norm. So when I actually got to college and these classes were required, it was just my first time seeing the material, getting exposure, and I felt like I was just already like 2 steps behind. And I think this is due to just having a stronger base. In Korea, for example, my Korean friends said that they were studying college-level biochemistry by the 7th grade, while for me, I was just playing sports and not really doing too much in school. So it's them being pushed harder that's making them more prepared to go to American colleges. So when you go into middle school and you go into high school, it's more of a 1st to 6th period in a chronological order sort of thing. Whereas college is more like you have the flexibility to pick out which classes you want. And so college isn't the problem, it's the middle and high school. But middle and high school is a precursor into college. And it's for this reason why this is such an important topic. I feel like for middle and high school, you're just told what to do, where to go, and even whether you can use the bathroom or not. And that's not applicable in real life, because in real life you have options, you have like your own will, you can do whatever you want. So I don't feel like schools are really preparing you for life. They're preparing you to essentially listen to directions, follow orders, sort of what a factory worker or conveyor belt line dude person would do. And it's just a super outdated way of thinking and system, and I think this needs to change. So I believe the social norm of America plays a huge role into this. And there's some things that even if middle and high school are the precursor to college, grade school or elementary school is that precursor to the middle school. And it's at this critical stage that I feel like begins the devaluation of the American school system. There's a lot of things to talk about, but first let's talk about participation medals. There is essentially no reason why you should give a medal to a kid that came in last place. If you give a medal to everybody who participated, that means you're devaluing the people who actually try and the people who actually put in work. And so what does that tell somebody who gets first place? That, oh, you worked super hard, congratulations, you get the same merits as somebody who got last place. And this in turn will demotivate the kid, and maybe he won't try as hard next time. So I think the participation stuff needs to be cut out. Although I said that this video is mainly going to be for middle and high school level, there's a topic I need to talk about at the collegiate level, and that's the college system is a for-profit business. No, it's not a school, I said business. And that essentially means that they're not looking out for you, they're looking out for themselves. Have you ever wondered why a textbook costs as much as it does? Essentially, a textbook is just a lot of paper with some ink on it, bounded by a shell. But it's gonna cost you like $100, $200 for a textbook. And it's for that reason, it's because colleges are for profit. There are companies like Teach for America, Laureate, McGraw-Hill, that essentially for lack of a better word, victimize college students because they know they have a mutual understanding with the school. They have like contracts with schools that say, oh, you need to get this textbook from this supplier. And so both school and company are benefiting from that. And you're the one that's paying the money out of the pocket to get these overinflated textbooks. If you're in college and you use WebAssign, Alex, or I think that's it. There's probably a few more, but like WebAssign or Alex, like why do they cost as much as they do? For Alex, for example, they say, oh, if you pay for 1 quarter, it's only $40, but if you pay for 3 quarters, you can pay $100. You're saving $20. Hell no, you're spending $100 for an online resource that doesn't cost Alex anything to maintain. Maybe it costs them like $5-10 per person to maintain a server, but there's no reason in hell that it should cost $100 for 3 quarters. The amount that you're paying is completely arbitrary, and it's because these companies are for profit that you're paying that much. And with the raising cost of tuition and inflation and just people trying to charge you an arm and a leg for textbooks and other services that you need for school, if you want to take general chemistry at the University of Washington, there is no way you can get around paying the Alex fee. You have to pay it. And that in itself is a problem. So Chris, you keep saying that, oh, education isn't worth it. The collegiate system is too expensive. It's failing. What can we do? Well, there are a lot of things happening already. With the downfall of college and the rising costs of tuition, there's a lot of third-party schools that are opening up. Maybe you've heard of Coding Dojo, or Boot Camp, or, I don't know, Khan Academy. Even YouTube. So many people are using third-party resources to deviate from school and still get a high-paying job. I have so many friends who, instead of foregoing school, they went into a Coding Dojo or a boot camp, and now they are making 6 figures as a software engineer. I'm not saying this is the route to go. I'm just saying because school tuition costs are getting so ridiculous, and it's not only the cost, but it's also the time you invest in the 4 years. Like a Coding Dojo, you can be done in 10 weeks. You don't need to go 4 years to get a software degree. Right? I mean, you do, but not to get the job. So it's with all of these factors that so many other things are opening up. Have you ever heard the saying that, oh, you go to college for the first 2 years to take general electives to figure out what you want to do? Okay, that might have been great in the 70s and even the 80s, but with the cost of college tuition, let's say you go out of state, that's like 60 to 80K for 2 years to figure out what you want to do. Not even including like housing costs or anything like that. So is it really okay to say, oh, let's take 2 years to take general electives to figure out what you want to do? I don't think so. Let's figure it out in high school. We need to be taking a plethora of classes to try to figure out like what fields you're interested in, and in college let's just jump right into it. Because if we didn't take those 2 years of general electives, we could be done in 2 years. And we would save a lot of money, a lot of time, and just start the career sooner. A major problem is what teachers not only are being paid, but the respect level that teachers have in America. So teachers go through 4 years of bachelor's to get their bachelor's degree, and they must then go 1 or 2 years to get their master's. And if you factor in the cost of tuition nowadays, that's an absurd amount of money. Oh, but wait, teachers get paid a lot. Nope. Teachers start off with the master's degree around 50 or 60K. When you compare that to a software engineer who only takes 4 years, not 6, to get their degree, and they come out making 120K a year at a big firm like Google or Amazon, Boeing or something like that, and they get bonuses on top, where do you think the smartest minds in America is going to go? They're going to go into engineering, doctors, healthcare, law professions. There's very seldom super intellectual people who are going into teaching. I don't want to say that all teachers are dumb, because they're not. I'm just saying that if you're smart and you're thinking about like what makes the most money, you're going to go into these other professions. So if the smartest minds are going into these professions, every other profession is just going to have average minds, I guess, for lack of a better word. I don't know. They're not going to, the point is, the smartest minds are not going into education. And I believe the smartest minds need to go into education, because education, teachers are the foundation of our society. They teach the youth of the future of America. And so if we're not paying teachers enough, nobody's going to go into there. The value of education decreases. So when these kids grow up, it's a never-ending cycle. So there needs to be at some point where we need to break the cycle, pay teachers more, respect them more like we do in Asian countries, respect them to the point where that when somebody tells you like, oh yeah, I'm a teacher, you're like, oh wow, you're a teacher? Same thing as, oh wow, you're a doctor? It needs to be at that same level. You know what I'm saying? So what do you guys think? Do you think that these points are valid, or do you think that there's some things I'm missing or some things that could be added? I'd like to hear what you guys think, because I feel like this topic is an important one and it merits discussion, so let's converse about it. Leave a comment down below. You already know, subscribe. Be sure to click the little like button so I know I get good feedback. With all that being said, your boy's out the studio for today. I'll catch you guys next time on Converse with Chris.